life that I'm living. Sit back, chillin', start a multi-business with the focus of making millions. It's the stuff that dreams are made of and no haters. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Let's Talk Business. You know, for this show, it's a little bit different than some of the others prior to it because today I wanted to take some time to address the entrepreneurships as well as the business ownerships for those who are just starting in their journey. Normally we have a guest that we normally feature on the show that gives you their expertise, their journey, their mentorships, and so forth. And we're going to definitely continue to do such. But today's show, I wanted to kind of just take a few moments to talk to you. In fact, for this particular show, I wanted to bring to your attention about 20 points of what it takes to start a business. No doubt you mostly are already on this journey and you've covered most of these points, but for those who are still thinking about it and who may be looking out to individuals and paying them fees to help them start their business, there are just some areas that we wanted to give you some information on so you cannot be taken advantage of. No doubt starting a business most likely is the easiest part of it, and the hardship really comes during the operations of a business. It's a wonderful journey that you experience ups and downs, the realities of what it is of having a business. And no doubt there are different structures of a business as well. But I just needed to take this time because I've seen and heard so many individuals paying individuals a nice lump sum of money in areas of things that they themselves could be doing when it comes to the structuring or starting their business. So I'm going to real briefly cover at least these 20 points for this episode. And if you have any comments, please share them below in the comment section of YouTube. And for those on our other channels that watch the show as well, we look forward to hearing from you as well. So just going over just some of the details, I put this together and no doubt I'm interested in seeing what some people have to say about it. But the first thing I wanted to talk about was on this checklist of these 20 points. When it comes to a business, no doubt, an individual, certainly for number one, you really have to know what industry that you want to participate in. Choose your business or industry and choose the company name, verify the right to use that name, and then create your business plan. This really deals with your idea. This deals with your vision. This is the number one thing that you need to sit down and contemplate on what it is exactly that you want to do. This is normally the stage where a person identifies that there is a lack of some type of service or there's a problem, and then they try to find a way to come up with a solution to that problem or to find a way to provide a service that will eliminate the problem for the customer. That's normally the number one thing that you have to think about as you're putting together your business plan. I mean, there's different types of business plans, as no doubt you've seen during the course of the show. People have mentioned how they changed them over a period of time. And then you've even heard individuals who identified their goal and a vision and didn't even create a business plan until much later, until after they jumped into it and got the experience of what it took along the way. And any of these are something that an individual can do, no doubt. For number two on our checklist, you want to definitely register your business with the state with which you reside. Here in the state of Indiana, this is where you will go to INBiz, in.gov, and this is where you will register your company after you've done step one. This is the second point here. You register your business with the state and know that there is a fee that comes with this registration. Now, this is a different fee depending on if you're going to establish a nonprofit organization or if you're going to establish a for-profit organization. And the fee is quite small in comparison to what you will be investing along the way, but it doesn't require you to pay someone else to do this when it's something that you can very much do yourself. So, point three, as you're going through your registration, you're going to notice that the state is going to be asking you to put some information in connection if you're doing a nonprofit to determine what the status or style of it will be. But you're going to receive a certificate of organization or articles of incorporation or so forth, depending on how you determine the style or type of business that you're going to have. And this is so important because to be registered with the state in which you reside, they give you this certification. It's almost like a birth certificate for your company. It now is something that is a living instrument, a living tool, a living entity that now has certain authorizations, again, based on the type of style that you use or type of organization you create, whether it's an LLC or a limited partnership, or if it's going to be a small corp or something of that sort. It becomes its own living thing. It is the birth certificate, so to speak, of your company. And it's now recognized throughout the state that it is a functioning organization throughout the state. It's almost a sense of an accountability as well when it comes to things. And this also deals with some liability issues that it comes with its own package, so to speak, separate from you as an individual. So definitely this is something that one needs to give careful thought to. Certainly acknowledge that this is what it is for your company and put that somewhere safe in your files. So we got 1, 2, 3. Now let's look at point 4. Point 4, this is when you fill out the IRS application for your employee or employer identification number, or EIN. This is, again, a very important document that you can do for yourself, and guess what? It's free. You don't have to pay anyone to do this for you. This comes with the package of something you can do certainly for yourself. I like to describe this employer identification number as the social security number of your company. Again, this thing is a living entity. It can have its own bank account. It can buy its own real estate. It can invest in other things. It can buy other companies. You know, it's something that's separate from you as a person. So again, as we're going through these steps, understand that I would always encourage you to talk to your attorney as you're going through these structures or these points and checkpoints here, so that you can make sure that everything has been taken care of legally. In no way are we giving you legal advice here, but what I am certainly doing is sharing some points that I came across that I think that could be valuable to you. Of course, you don't have to do any of these things, but as a small business owner or entrepreneur, these are some good, valid points that you might want to keep in mind as you are establishing your journey as an entrepreneur. So, check 1, check 2, check 3, and check 4. Now let's look at check 5. So this particular point speaks about going back to the thought process. It says if your company will be working under another name, you want to register your company assume business name with the state at that same website at inbiz.in.gov. So assume business name. So what this is you have your main business name, but I'm going to compare it to a nickname for your company. It might be smaller version or just like an acronym for your business in a way for promotional marketing materials. You might want to simplify the name in a way that you need to register that name and attach it with your company so it will also be known as the name that you've given it under the assumed business name. So these are very simple things, and this likewise also comes with a fee. Again, these fees are not excruciating in terms of thousands and thousands of dollars or even hundreds of dollars. It's something that you can do for yourself as well as a small business owner. Now, once you done this, there's something else that is very important to have in your files. You want to also register a certificate of existence from the state of Indiana at that same website, because this also shows that your company is in good standing with the state. Now, somebody might say, well, what's the whole point of the registration? Again, that's only to identify and let the state know who it is, what it's going to be doing, and that now it's a living entity. Well, now when it comes to its existence, the certification, it deals with the type of standing that you have within the state that is functioning in. And so that's something that you likewise want to put in your files, in your documentation for your business, whether physical or digital. So now we've checked off that point, which is point 6. Let's look at point 7. Now, this one here has had a lot of interesting things that's come with it. There's a lot of speculation out there whether or not you still have to do this or not, or whether or not there's some new rules of the land that has come about. But it's something that is referred to as your Beneficial Ownership Information, or BOI report. Now, this is a report that came from FIN, the FinCEN department. They came out with this BOI, and there was some legal reasons why they came up with this, and it was a requirement at a time. It may still very well be a requirement of business owners who have to register or file this report, so that it can always stay in legal means with the state in which is functioning. You know, the states in which companies are doing business, they always want to make sure everybody's doing things legally. And sad to say, there are some businesses that are shadow companies and they're not doing things the way they should be, and as a result, they're causing harm to the customer base. And when they don't have this accountability report, is what I call it, and they're not doing things accordingly, good ethic policies and so forth, it causes a lot of problems. And so that's the reason that they came up with this BOI report, amongst some other reasons as well. Now, whether it's still something that one has to do in this state or not is something I encourage you again to speak to your legal representation to make sure that if this is something that you have to do, that you do it so that you can be in compliance with the law of the land. Okay? So check 7. Now let's look at 8. Now this one is quite interesting because, again, it takes some time to sit down and really think about how you want to structure your company when it comes to partnerships and things of that sort. So this is when you have to sit down and really put in writing the operation agreement. Now, this, of course, is free. Again, this is something that you can simply do on your own. A lot of people use artificial intelligence to help them kind of come up with that, ChatGPT and so forth, and then you can modify it as you see fit. But you still need to know how your company is going to operate in harmony if you're going to have multiple partners or a partner that's going to be functioning or operating your company with you. This is so important to have so there won't be no misunderstandings when it comes to doing business with another person. This also deals with making sure everybody is in compliance, as well as understand their accountability or responsibilities to the company, as well as what each party will be doing as far as contributions and things of that sort. I encourage everybody to please sit down and think about how you want to operate your company and have this agreement in hand so that those that decide to join you or that you choose to join you will be in alignment with the vision and the mission of your organization. So, check 8. Check 9. Every company, legally, for profit, or even nonprofit, should and have a bank account. Now, of course, you have the option to choose which bank works in your favor, depending on your company, but you certainly need to establish a bank account separate from your personal account for your company. And again, this is something that is highly important when it comes to meeting the IRS compliance when it comes to transactions. This also works in harmony with the direction from your operation agreement. These are all great points that need to be taken into consideration. Now, it's true that there are some banks that work better for nonprofit organizations, and there are others that work better for for-profit organizations. I encourage you to do your due diligence to find out which one works best for your organization. Now that we've established the importance of having a bank account, let's look at check off 10. When you consider the type of business that you're going to have, if you're going to hire people, they're going to be W-2s, or if they're going to be 1099s, independent contractors. These are also additional documentations that you are going to need. According to the law of the land, if you're going to have hired labor workers, W-2s, there are certain posters and certain rules that you have to follow. And you have to make sure you understand those rules so you don't find yourself in violation against the law. It's very much encouraged that you find out these things, and you can go to the IRS and they can have this stuff posted up there for you to know the rules and regulation for this as well. But contracts for your 1099s are just as important. You want to make sure, again, that you speak to your attorney to help you structure those contracts. If you choose to design or create your own contracts, make sure they can view them so that, again, they are in compliance with the law of the land and not in violation. These are, again, things that you will be able to do for yourself. Like I said, these things can be done for free and don't require much, but you certainly need to know and make sure that everything is in writing so that, again, we can eliminate what? Misunderstandings. So make sure you have your contracts all in the affairs all taken care of in that regard, okay? So now, when it comes to point 11, I'm going to read it because it's something that I think that some people might not think about at times, but you might want to sometimes create protective documentation. What do I mean by that? Well, these are release and waiver and liability forms. These are, you know, if you have an individual, let's say, for example, photography, they have to give you permission to utilize their image, right? So you want to have the model release forms and intellectual property release forms. These are all additional forms for the protection of not just your company, but also the other individual. Again, it's all to be in alignment with preventing misunderstandings. So now we've checked off 11 points here. Let's move on. Check point 12. When it comes to marketing and promotion, you know the brand, but a lot of brands are attached with logos. So it's so important that you establish a logo for your company, and if you can trademark it so that also it can be protective. You definitely want to go to the proper departments that can trademark that for you. That does come with a certain fee, but make sure that your logo meets the standard in which you want it to meet when it comes to representing your company. I mean, you know some of the brands that's out here that have logos, and when you see them, you know what they're about. So think about that for yourself in terms of moving forward with your entity. What is your company about? And does your logo represent that? When a person sees your logo, are they going to know, like some of these other name brands, that's what that company's about? So think about that and make sure that you protect your logo as well. So we checked off 12. Let's look at 13. If you have certain materials that need to be copywritten, you want to certainly go through that process. I encourage everyone to do their due diligence again to identify some of the things that you may have that need to be copywritten, and go through the process of making sure that it is protected. You can go to copyright.gov and understand that there is a fee that comes with that. But again, these are all personal investments in your company that you're going to have to protect your company, to protect you, and to protect your customers as well. So it's so good to have all these things implemented into your back office. So far, we've covered these 13, and we only got a few more to go. So I hope you're able to continue to follow with me, take some notes if you need to, all right? Let's look at now point 14 and check that off. This is one that is so important. You definitely want to establish legal protection, and this comes with your legal team. Have a team of lawyers, or if you have a buddy or a friend, a cousin, someone that's in the legal industry that can give you proper legal advice. We've mentioned several times here to speak to your attorney on various things. This is what we're talking about, to get the proper legal advice to make sure that your company is protected. So Of course, as you know, I think I don't have to tell you, but I'll say it anyway. This does come with a fee. But sometimes you can get free consultation, and that might be of assistance to you just to get the thought process and the legal advice from an attorney. Okay? So now let's look at point 15. This is something that I think is probably one of the biggest challenges for business owners, and we tend to want to outsource it. But there is an internal part in the back office that has to be considered because you are the initial record keeper for this particular thing. Well, what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about your accounts, your financial statements, your profit and loss statements. You have to have the software to plug it in and plug it out accordingly, simply because even though you may have an accountant, they're there to assist, but in the initial outset, you might be that person that has to do that record keeping and then submit these forms to your accountant and make sure that they have all they need so that they can complete your financial IRS documentations during tax season, which we are upon that season now. So again, these are all great points that we're bringing to your attention that you might need to consider, should consider, if you're going to go into the world of business and entrepreneurship. Many of these things, again, surround being protected. So certainly you want to make sure you have a decent accounting software system that will be easy for you to record these documents as far as receipts and things of that sort, so that it can be easily transferred to your accountant. Let's check off 16 now. This is another one that's very important, and not many people think about it. And sometimes, I will admit, it can be a headache. Well, what am I talking about? Well, for this one, you certainly have to, depending on the type of business that you're in, and especially if you have 1099 workers or if you have W-2 workers, you want to have insurance protection. Again, this is liability, professional liability insurance that you have that will protect you and your company and those that are doing business with you in that regard. So you want to definitely think about searching for the proper insurance that caters to the specific services that you are providing to the community, okay? So you definitely want to think about that, and that does come with a fee as well. So let's check off 17. We talked about it earlier, about the documentation that you need to transfer over to your accountant. Well, you certainly have to identify the right accountant for you. So this particular point of 17 deals with selecting professional licensed accountant that will be able to help your company with the IRS and making sure you're covered in that regard. Again, every year we hear about how people are looking for certain people to take care of their taxes. And so it's important that you find the right person that is licensed to make sure that they can handle those affairs for you and that everything is done legit. Okay? Now let's look at point 18 on this checkoff list. I love this one because it deals with everything that, deals with your visual, promotion, advertising, marketing. Yes, we're talking about a marketing team. These are the individuals that keep your business and its services in front of people, whether it's through the social media networks or any other media that people are watching. So you have to select your team wisely. Again, I encourage you to do your due diligence to find out who is it that you need that can be a part of your marketing team that helps you to keep your business in front of people. All right, so let's look at check 19 point. You definitely want to establish a company contact number. You need to have a contact number so people can reach you. You have the option to use your own personal number. That is your right to do if you want to. But if you want something that's separate, definitely establish a contact number for your company, all right? And last but not least, point 20. Can you believe it? We made it this far to 20 on this checkoff list. Point 20 is establish a company website. Yes, there is a fee that comes with this, but you gotta know that this is also part of the marketing team, and having a website that describes your business and all that it does is so important. It's a professional level that helps it's like an identity card for your business. So you definitely want to establish a website for your company. These are the 20 points that I just wanted to share with you all and help you to see that there are some areas that you don't need help, that you can do yourself, and that you don't have to pay thousands of dollars to individuals. It can be very cost effective for you, but certainly again, we will encourage you to talk to your legal team or your lawyers to kind of go over these things so that you can make sure that you're in compliance and doing all things in a way that will protect you, your business, and your company. So I'm glad that we took this time out to have this discussion, you all, for this checkoff list, and I hope that it helps you as you continue to move forward in your journey in the beginning process of becoming an entrepreneur and a business owner. So without anything else to be said, you all, let me know what your thoughts are about these 20 points for this checkoff list, and I want to thank you for taking the time to join me for this episode of Let's Talk Business. Take care, you all.